Alright guys, welcome back. So, bit of a, I guess we call it story time. Bit of safety / story time. So, you'll find this funny. All my mates find it funny. Everyone at work finds it funny. It's still a running joke, like, constantly. But yeah, so I'm at home. This is probably 3.5 years ago now. 3 years ago maybe. Doing some welding at home, a little bit close to some flammable liquid. And you can kind of guess where this is going. So, yeah, welding up a battery tray for, I've got an Isuzu truck at home that I will hopefully be towing the buggy with once it's done. So 2 half jobs going on the go at the moment. But yeah, so welding up the battery tray. I prepped it with wax and grease remover and then painted a waterable primer on it. Put the wax and grease remover, 1 litre bottle, plastic bottle, on the bench with the rag next to it, painted the primer, went and had lunch, came back half hour later, started my welding. So I put it on the bench, not really thinking about the wax and grease remover. It was half an hour ago. So start welding, all good, little weld across the top where the 2 steels overlap. One of those sparks went up, set the rag on fire. I didn't see it straight away because I had my welding mask on, so by the time I flipped my mask, I don't know, 15-20 seconds later, that rag's on fire. I still had my welding gloves, grabbed the rag, on the ground, put it out, looked up, there's flames licking the bottle of this 1 litre plastic bottle, there's flames licking up the side of it. And I was like, screw this, went for the fire extinguisher. So ran to the front of the shed, or garage, grabbed the fire extinguisher, come running back. As I got back, that bottle had split. So I've now got liquid flames, like everywhere, all over the bench, all over the floor. There was a cardboard box at the end of the bench. I had no idea what was in that. It was on fire. So I'm pulling the pin out of the fire extinguisher and that box exploded. And it was I don't really remember how big of a bang, but there was flames. It threw flames everywhere, like all up the ceiling, up on the walls and everything. So I got the pin out, went in, put it out with my fire extinguisher, and then this thing, I've still got it. It's a memento to me now. 1 kilo powder from Bunnings, $20. You can't beat it. Yeah, I suggest, so everyone in my family and my friends got a fire extinguisher for Christmas after this. As a bit of a joke, but I know what it did for me. It saved my garage. So, yeah, lifesaver. Basically, $20. Bunnings, like, you can't beat that. And it was quite impressive. Like, there was, like, however high my ceiling is, 2 metre high ceiling, the walls are on fire, I just put it out. Yeah, so definitely go buy yourself a fire extinguisher, or at least 2. I've got 2 in my shed now, just so I don't have to go so far to get one. I've got 1 at each end of the shed. But yeah, so I didn't realise how big of a bang it was until, so I end up, Ambo's rocked up, the fire's rocked up first, and they basically looked at me and said, have you called yourself an ambulance? And I said no, and they said, well, we're calling you one. Go stick your head under a cold shower and wait for the ambos. And then when the fireys walked into the garage and I showed them where I was and what was happening, that's when I noticed my walls had bent. I could see daylight between a wall and the roof. And the fireys are looking around going, dude, were you standing in here? And I'm like, yeah, I was in here with the fire extinguisher. And they're like, far out, alright, go wait for the ambos and we'll sort this out. So I went upstairs, threw some water on my face, ambos rocked up, yeah, off to hospital. So, yeah, amazing. So, this, man, I'm keeping this because of that reason. It's like the memento. But anyway, so what I might do, I'll throw some photos up to show you what it done to the shed. I don't have a heap of photos. Like, I was in the back of the ambulance, so I didn't really take any photos. It's just photos that my friends and family took that they've sent them to me. So yeah, I might just put the photo up and just write a little caption under it of what it is. There's one photo of the wall bent out. I didn't get any inside photos. It's just one from outside. The glass sliding door out the back of the granny flat, it left the building. The whole door left the building. There's a piece of glass from a small window that got shattered, and there's like a dagger looking piece of glass stuck in the door frame. So if that hit you, man, it would have gone through you, I reckon. And I'll put one up on my face because it's, yeah, pretty funny. It's not really funny, but everyone, all my mates think it's funny. So cool, yeah, so alright, so just a quick rundown on how this works. So a lot of my family, I gave them for Christmas and the like, and they were all like, but we don't know how to use them. So they're pretty simple. This isn't instructional, this is me telling you how to use it easily, not a proper instructional video. So PASS is the acronym they use, P-A-S-S, P for the pin. So there'll be a pin that holds this handle together, so you can't set it off accidentally. So P for pin, so pull a pin out. That will now allow you to move that handle. So pull a pin, A is for aim. So generally you aim at the base of the fire. There's different rules for foam and the like, but most of the time aim at the base of the fire. S for squeeze the trigger. So that's just that. So you'll be holding it like that, and you'll be holding that, probably holding it like that. Squeeze the trigger. It's just down like that, pretty simple. And then sweep. So depending on how big the fire is, if it's just a small little area, then aim at the base and you might just do little sweeps. Like it might just require a little sweep. Or your whole garage might be on fire and you basically just squeeze the trigger, and the sweeping action is more of a, oh crap, I hope I put this out kind of thing, which that worked for me. So yeah, that's it. So pass, pin, aim, squeeze, sweep. And there is a little gauge on here that if it's in the green, you're good to go. Yeah, so if you've got them sitting at home and they're sitting on your wall for ages and you haven't had to use it, it'd be an idea just to check that gauge every now and then, just to make sure the pressure's still there. I have heard people saying to rotate it just so the powder kind of moves around a bit, so it just doesn't all clump at the bottom. I haven't officially seen that, that's just what I've heard people say. So just every now and then just do that. But yeah, so I've actually got this on a little bracket at the moment, which is for the buggy. So that piece there will go onto your roll cage with the hose clamps. And then this, there's a pin in the bottom of this, and then there's a hole in the bottom that lines up with a hole on here. So that will hold it in there like that. And then that closes, and then my little pin that's here, this little pin here, then runs through that and locks that on. So and then that's on your cage, like the roll cage of your buggy. And then when it's time to go, when you got go time, you need the thing, pull a pin, so I'll just hold the back of that, pull a pin out, that's still attached to your car or your wall or whatever. I'll put holes in it so you can attach it to walls, and then that comes off and then you're ready to go. So yeah, 20 bucks at Bunnings, can't beat it. Like, you can get bigger ones, but you can get bigger ones. I'd rather have multiple small, or you can have multiple big ones, but I'd rather have just a heap of little ones. Like for 20 bucks you can't go wrong. And have 2 or 3 in your garage instead of just one big one in one corner. Have 2 smaller ones at either end of the garage, so it doesn't matter where you are, you've got access to it. yeah, so that's it. A bit of a laugh for all my mates anyway. I ended up in hospital. First time I've been in the back of an ambulance, that was exciting. Lights and sirens, got a bit of morphine, it was all good. But yeah, so can't recommend a fire extinguisher enough. Sweet, alright, so bit of a story, bit of a laugh for some, not for others. Yeah, I'll talk to you guys soon.